All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the New York Giants. Now, I know we're only a couple of days into training camp right now, but apparently Daniel Jones, Darren Waller, Jalen Hyatt, Paris Campbell, apparently the Giants offense looks locked and loaded, ready to take a huge leap this upcoming season. They're coming off a 9-7 in 1 year where they won a playoff game against the Minnesota Vikings, a team that won 13 regular season games. Last year was a major success for this Giants team, and they're ready. They're ready. And here's the thing, we've been talking Giants all summer. Their big move on offense was getting Darren Waller. Outside of Darren Waller, and even when they got Darren Waller, it was like, oh, he can't stay healthy, blah, blah, blah. There's no clear threats on that offense. Outside of Saquon, there's no clear threats on that team. Daniel Jones has plenty of weapons. And like we said at the beginning of the video, apparently Paris Campbell and Jalen Hyatt yesterday getting first team reps. Apparently these guys are excelling. Apparently nobody can guard Darren Waller. And I'll just say it. If Darren Waller is healthy, camp, preseason, regular season, it doesn't matter. You can't guard a healthy Darren Waller. When Darren Waller was healthy a couple of years ago, he had two back-to-back crazy over 1,100 receiving yard seasons, made a Pro Bowl. He was a top 5 tight end in the National Football League. Unfortunately, been dealing with some injuries recently. But the Giants have to be feeling good about not only Darren, but the threats on the offensive side. You have Isaiah Hodgins, who's ready for a breakout campaign. You have Darius Slayton, Paris Campbell, draft pick Jalen Hyatt, even recent addition in Cole Beasley. You pair it all up with Saquon Barkley and only improving Daniel Jones, and it's very exciting. But before we get into today's video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Try and get 500 likes on today's video. Now, by the time a lot of you guys watch this, camp will be already done for the Giants. I'm currently making this Friday afternoon. They don't practice until like an hour from now. But I saw this funny tweet. It was from Chuck Knox, and he said, "Your defense in the red zone with 4 tries to stop the New York Football Giants. Who are you stopping? Are you going to double up Waller? That's fine. Now what about Saquon? Who has the burners like Paris, Slayton, or Hyatt? What if Bellinger and Hodgins are on the field? Or who's covering slot guys like Wan'Dale, Shep, or Cole Beasley? Minus a name or two, most of these guys will be on the field. If healthy, Daniel Jones has weapons all around. Oh, you've got these guys covered in the end zone too. Oops, Daniel Jones just ran for a touchdown." So I think typically, for example, the Tennessee Titans just picking up DeAndre Hopkins, I think when we're talking mainstream NFL media, if there's not like this huge, crazy name going to your franchise, then nobody really cares. Nobody's really paying attention to your threats on your existing roster. Last year, Daniel Jones took a huge step led by Brian Daboll, right? 15 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. Like I said, they're in the loaded NFC East. They finished 3rd in the division. They still made the playoffs, and they won a playoff game. Unfortunately, they did get crushed to the Philadelphia Eagles, but really last year, who didn't? They're rising. And the simple addition of Darren Waller, because as the tweet said, teams are going to want to double team him. But keep in mind, man, the Giants offensive coordinator, Mike Kafka, he has a proven track record of just getting the most out of tight ends possible. And we saw that in Kansas City with Mr. Travis Kelce, right? So I'm hoping for a Darren Waller bounce back season. Over 1,000 receiving yards, close to double-digit touchdowns. He's going to be a huge threat for Daniel Jones in this offense. Jalen Hyatt. All right. Tennessee last year started great, right? They took down Bama, if you guys watch college football. But then Hendon Hooker gets hurt, and everybody kind of forgets about Tennessee. Well, when they forgot about Tennessee, they forgot about Jalen Hyatt, because this guy played 12 games last season. He caught 67 balls for 1,267 yards and 15 touchdowns. He had 15 touchdowns. You heard that correctly. But here's what's even crazier. 18.9 yards per reception. So you're throwing him in there in a receiving room. Jalen Hyatt with Paris Campbell, with guys like Wan'Dale Robinson, Isaiah Hodgins. There are so many playmakers. There's so many sneaky playmakers on the offense that essentially It just comes down to Daniel Jones making the throws you need to make, managing the game, running the ball. Now, Daniel Jones is one of the best rushing quarterbacks in the league, and literally nobody talks about how good Daniel Jones is at running the football. It's all Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, the flashy guys. Daniel Jones as a quarterback last season, over 700 rushing yards for a quarterback. That is so impressive. This offense is going to be difficult to stop. It really is. They have one of the best rushing attacks in the National Football League, and now Eric Gray, a versatile running back, is joining your roster. But last year, the Giants were top 10 in every single rushing statistic. Obviously, Saquon Barkley running for over 1,300 yards. I wouldn't even classify it as a perfect or like a great season from Saquon. I would just say it was a solid year. But they finished as a top 5 rushing attack, and Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones combined, they ran for over 2,000 rushing yards, and you pair that up across the National Football League, that's one of the best 1-2 punch running duos in the National Football League, and one of those guys is a quarterback. So they're so versatile, and it's going to allow Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka to get as creative as they want. There's so much versatility on this roster, and I really liked that they pinpointed playmakers, because there's already a couple of playmakers on this roster, but they're more sleeper guys, right? Isaiah Hodgins, a healthy Wan'Dale Robinson. These are big players. But Paris Campbell, Jalen Hyatt, Darren Waller, they're going to make all the difference in the world. Speaking of training camp news, Evan Neal, a lot of hype coming out of him right now for a huge bounce back sophomore campaign. He said he put on like 10 pounds of muscle. He lost like 15 pounds, and that he is healthier, stronger, and just overall in a much better place than he was last season. So that's great news for your offensive line. Defensively, the big concern is the rush defense. I look at the simple addition of Bobby Okereke, and we've been talking about this, like I said, all summer. All of the free agent additions or even draft picks that guys like John Michael Schmitz, Deonte Banks, no matter who the Giants picked up this past summer, nobody really talked about it. Bobby Okereke is one of the most young star rising linebackers in the National Football League. Last year with the Indianapolis Colts, he had over 150 tackles. Not saying obviously he fixes your rush defense, but getting him on your defense is a really big freaking deal. You're getting, an improved Kayvon Thibodeau, right? You have Dexter Lawrence. You have a nice secondary, Xavier McKinney, Dory Jackson, Deonte Banks, rookie. It's a really young team that I think rounded out their roster with the perfect veterans, where they're not super old veterans. There are guys coming off rookie contracts ready to turn into a star in this league. So all in all, that wraps up the New York Giants week 1 of training camp. If you guys enjoyed it and you want more Giants content, be sure to let me know down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. That would mean the world to me. Giants fans, you guys always bless my videos, and I love covering your team. And I'm getting excited, man. I'm getting really excited for football in general, but also New York Giant football. That's it for me. Peace.